Welcome everybody to the first game of the 2017 Canadian Collegiate Baseball Association playoffs. The national tournament live from Fredericton, New Brunswick. My name is Julian McKenzie, sitting alongside Mike Augustine. We have a great opening game ahead of us between the McGill Redmen and the Concordia Stingers. Two teams who are obviously very familiar with each other, crosstown rivals. The starting lineups were just announced, Augie. Thomas Minkowski, the cow as he's called, will get the start for McGill in this game.
Well, Julian, let's go through the Concordia starting lineup here. Leading off, second baseman number 30, Kyle Hazel. Batting second, shortstop number 13, Bruce Tejada. Batting third, first baseman number 19, Stefan Brady. Batting fourth, DH number 49, Shane Mullen. Batting fifth, left fielder number 40, Dave Fontaine. Batting sixth, center fielder number 24, Frederick Lalonde. Batting seventh, right fielder number 34, Chandler Philippa?
Philippa, yes.
We'll get through this.
Yeah, it's totally fine.
Eighth, catcher number 21, Giuliano Leggio.
I believe it's Leggio.
Leggio sounds good to me. Batting ninth, third baseman number 4, Mike Macarios. And starting for Concordia, Tom Lubzerman.
So this matchup between these two pitchers, and we'll get into more detail when Concordia is out fielding. We have Thomas Minkowski pitching for McGill, and then Lobzerman for Concordia. It's been bigged up as this surf and turf matchup.
This is for the first game. I'm excited. Surf and turf all the way. Hey, if we're at Montana's right now, I'll be all over it.
I haven't been to Montana. I mean, I've only been up in Fredericton for about a day or so, so I haven't had time to go through all the restaurants as of yet. But going out in defense for McGill, Minkowski will be pitching to the catcher, Camden Lawhead. Up at first base today, Emerson Dome.
In the top half of the first inning there, second baseman number 30,
Kyle Hazel steps up to the plate, batting 284, 17 RBI. Troy Shepard out at second base. Troy Shepard out at shortstop. Benji Kaiserman at second base. Jared Kirsch at third. Jack Pantalina playing in left field. Jonathan DuForest in right. Andre Lagarde at center. We await the first pitch of the national tournament. It is a strike thrown down the middle by Thomas Minkowski.
One little thing here, Julian. Umpires for game one. Behind the plate, J.P. Richard. First base, Steve Clark. And at third, Ricky Viner.
0-2 count as Minkowski throws yet another strike. The native of Peterborough, Ontario, 1-0 record in the regular season, pitched a 4-hit shutout, and then pitched another victory against Carleton in the playoffs. This McGill team has yet to lose in their last 25 league games as a ball is thrown by Minkowski.
So we can say that they're the favorites in this tournament?
Absolutely. Absolute favorites. Minkowski on the mound. The 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. And that's the first strikeout thrown by Minkowski.
He's got some heat. Heavy fastball there, Julian. I like him.
Yeah, big imposing figure. I mean, McGill actually has a couple of these guys on their staff.
shortstop number 13, Bruce Tejada.
Tournament like this, Julian, you'd really want your starting pitching to be top-notch and defense to be great because you don't have much time here. It's going to be a
strike thrown down by Minkowski. You could I don't know if you were going to finish your thought or not, but still, you make an excellent point. Your defense has to be on top, and the pitching, of course, needs to be top-notch as well. I mean, Minkowski seems to be on that roll right now.
Oh, yeah, he's throwing strikes. He's ready to go.
0-2 count. Throwing to Bruce Tejada, the shortstop. Batting .213 for the season, 8 RBI. The 0-2. A swing and a miss, and that's back-to-back strikeouts for the cow Minkowski.
Tell you what, the cow's working it. I can't believe I just said that, but I did.
He is working it he's working it on the mound, absolutely. The third batter at bat for Concordia as McGill looks to retire the side to begin this first inning.
These two teams have matched up with each other 4 times this year. We can talk for an entire day about the history of the rivalry between Concordia and McGill in just about almost every sport they play. But McGill has had their number. They've had everyone's number, but especially Concordia's, especially in their last 2 games, beating them 12-2 and 11-1. In fact, those 2 games actually were in a span of about 6 games where McGill were winning by mercy rule, and Brady looks as if he gets the first hit off of Minkowski, as that ball just missing the glove of Emerson Dome.
That's a hit in my books, Julian. I think that was struck well. Tough play by the shortstop there too, as well.
I was of the belief that Brady might have even beaten the tag had the ball even gone into Dome's glove.
We got our stat man beside us here, Kevlov, so he's going to give us the thumbs up or the thumbs down here with that's a hit.
Shane Mullen up at bat for Concordia, the designated hitter, also has pitched for Concordia this year with a 2-1 record and an ERA of 180.
Big fan of the pitchers that can hit, my friend.
Low in the dirt, a ball.
Seemed like he started with a slider there, Julian. I'll have to see all his pitches here. Looks like he definitely has a nice fastball. He must have an off speed here somewhere. I haven't seen one yet.
It's another low one. Lawhead was very quick to look to first after that pitch, but Brady still nestled on base. David Fontaine on deck. 2-0 count for Minkowski. He's thrown 2 strikeouts so far in this inning. He allows the single to Stephon Brady. Now has Shane Mullen, the DH, to deal with. The 2-0. Looks like Minkowski falling behind on the count. 3-0, 1 away from a walk.
See if he's got the parts here to battle back, Julian.
Had a hot start to this inning with back-to-back strikeouts. He since put a man on base. And the 3-0, it's a strike. So Minkowski still able to get a strikeout here if he can. The count at 3-1.
All right, green light here, Julian. 3-1 count, 2 out.
Thrown pitch. And he grants a walk. The umpire grants a walk to Shane Mullen. And McGill now have 2 Concordia Stingers on base, with David Fontaine up at the plate.
Yeah, baseball's a funny game, Julian. Started hot with the 2 strikeouts. All of a sudden he's in trouble here, first and second with 2 out. See what Fontaine can do here.
Fontaine batting .200 for the season. Minkowski with the 2 strikeouts to start looks to see if he could get that 3rd out against Fontaine. First pitch at the at-bat for Minkowski. Ball thrown.
He's kind of lost his release point here all of a sudden after a good start. He's definitely struggling from the stretch here.
Starting to hear the raucous cheers from the Concordia dugout. Another ball thrown, and Jason Starr, the manager of the Redmen, is going to step out to the mound and just try to calm down Minkowski here. Minkowski started off hot, and he's kind of cooled down. If you're the manager in this situation, what do you tell your pitcher?
Well, just get back to throwing strikes here. Like, he was definitely loose and relaxed the first two batters, and now it seems like he's got a ball of nerves here. So just calm down, breathe, and get back to throwing strikes.
Minkowski, the second-year pitcher, just like pretty much everyone else on this McGill staff, hasn't lost a game. But he's been commanding in the few starts he's had. First game of the year, a 4-hit shutout, giving McGill a win. And since then, I mean, they haven't had to use him that much. This McGill staff, they have numbers, and guys like Phil Sod and Rocky Roach, who we'll likely see later on in this tournament. But Minkowski did get the start in the first playoff game they had to play in the Northern Conference as that ball is thrown into the dirt again. Another 3-0 situation for Minkowski. But Minkowski did throw against the University of Ottawa in the playoffs.
Yeah, you can see that he's overthrowing here, Julian, from our vantage point.
Still men at first and second for Concordia. 2 out, 3-0 pitch. And the second straight walk thrown by Minkowski. And the bases are loaded.
Unbelievable. Top of the first, and geez, we thought he was rolling, and here we go. Bases loaded. Here's Lalonde.
Number 24,
Frederick Lalonde stepping up to the batter's box. Thomas Minkowski in a bit of trouble. Bases are juiced. Started off the inning with back-to-back strikeouts. It's been a little bit of a roller coaster since, as Camden Lawhead will take the opportunity to meet with Minkowski.
Might be changing signs here, whatnot, or giving him a let's go, buddy. We'll see what happens here. Man, it just goes to show this game is ups and downs, peaks and valleys, and you're never too sure what's going to happen. So that's why I love it so much.
And of all teams to put runs on the board against, if it so happens here, as the pitch is thrown by Minkowski, another ball thrown. Concordia matching up against by far the best team in the CCBA. They've won their last 25 league games coming into this afternoon's action.
To say that it's impressive is beyond words, really. In a league like this, it's tough to even get on a winning streak, let alone go 25 in a row.
Of course, one of the games played between McGill against the Université de Montréal Carabin, the Carabin won that game, but that game was eventually forfeited because UDM played ineligible players. Finally, a strike thrown by Minkowski as the count is 2-1.
Looks like you threw an off-speed pitch there, Julian.
You were waiting for that off-speed pitch. You finally got what you wanted. Minkowski, a 2-1 count for the big man. Ball hit towards second base. Kaiserman gets it, throws it to first, and that's going to end the inning. Concordia had the bases loaded, but they were unable to get a run scored, and McGill escapes the top half of the inning unscathed.
Well, good. I guess good start for Concordia. They're going to have some. The nerves are definitely gone for them, and hey, anything can happen here now. They're ready to play.
Absolutely. As Thomas Lobzer-Munn takes the mound for the Stingers with a record of 1-4 on the season, an ERA of 4.26. But he leads the team in strikeouts with 22.
Well, I may as well go through the McGill starting lineup here. Leading off, DH, number 16, Sasha Lagarde. Batting second, shortstop, number 5, Troy Shepard. Batting third, right fielder, number 14, John DeForest. Batting fourth, first baseman, number 12, Emerson Dome. Batting fifth, third baseman, number 21, Jarrett Kirsch. Batting sixth, center fielder, number 2, Andre Lagarde. Seventh, catcher, number 8, Camden Lawhead. Batting eighth, left fielder, number 52, Jack Pantalina. Batting ninth, second baseman, number 32, Benji Kaiserman. Of course, we know who's starting the game, 36, Tom Minkowski.
McGill searching for their 4th straight CCBA National Championship. A dominant team over the last few years. We've already raved about their winning streak coming into this game. Talking with this team before this game, a lot of players feel that this team is as cohesive and as together as they've been in quite some time. Last year they won the tournament, obviously, with a lot of talent. And they feel that team last year was a lot more talented, but they feel this year a lot more guys are getting along, a lot more guys are playing into that cohesive mindset.
And that goes a long way in a short season like this. And it's cohesiveness goes a long way in a tournament like this. They seem very loose during the pregame, so I'm excited to see what's going to happen here.
That seems to be the general vibe with this McGill team. They have this kind of loose, not necessarily laissez-faire attitude, but they keep things very light. amongst themselves. As Sasha Lagarde, who has won at nearly almost every level he's played in, takes a ball 1 as he leads off for McGill. Sasha Lagarde has won at the Canada Games. He's won at the NCAA as the second pitch goes right behind the Concordia catcher. He's won the Canada Games. He's won at the NCAA level. He's won at the Can-Am level. He won a university championship last year with McGill. We'll have the full list for you later, but 6 different championships.
Yes, sir. This guy's a gamer, then. He's a winner and a gamer.
Absolutely.
I noticed, too, that he hit a couple home runs in the regular season, so he's got a little bit of power at the top of the lineup.
I find him to be one of the more consistent players on this team in terms of getting on base. Lobster Munn. Make sure not to call him Lobster Munn, but Lobster Munn throws a strike, 3-1 count. Still 0-0 between McGill and Concordia in the first game of the CCBA National Championships. Julian McKenzie and Mikey Augustine with you as Lobster Munn throws a walk, and Sasha Lagarde will take first base as Troy Shepard steps up to the plate.
Lead-off walk, Lobster Munn. Those always turn into trouble. So we'll see what happens here with Lagarde, if he's going to do some running and maybe hit and run. We'll see what happens here early on in this game.
14 stolen bases this season for Lagarde, so he's definitely a player to be looked out for, as we see him already moving a little bit away from first base. Troy Shepard, the shortstop, up at the dish. Takes strike 1. Troy Shepard leading the Redmen in batting average with .455.
Interesting signs by the third base coach. He's using his, he's not really using his body. He's using more of a forward. He went 4-3-2 for some reason. I've never seen that before, but hey, if it works for the boys, if they know what he's saying.
Lobster Munn throws to first for the pickoff attempt, but that is unsuccessful. Casey Auerbach, the third base coach for McGill, very vocal along that third base line. You'll hear him bark out directions to usually whoever's on first. Sasha Lagarde running to second, a lob throw going into the outfield, and Lagarde will safely take second base.
Well, that was a
Count, Mr. Up.
Legio there. That wasn't really a good throw to second base. He didn't really have a lot of time to get rid of it either, so he probably rushed the throw there, but it was definitely off the bag. So we'll see that through the tournament, see if Legio's got the arm out there. Like I said, I haven't seen him throw the ball to second, but that was his first throw wasn't the best in the world. We'll see what happens.
Troy Shepard still facing a 1-1 count to Lobster Munn. A dribbler over to the shortstop, throw to first in time. Sasha Lagarde is at third as Jonathan DuForest steps up to the plate for McGill.
See what speed does for you, Julian. Stolen base, move the runner over. All of a sudden, it's one out, runner on third, and they're in business here in the bottom of the first.
Jonathan DuForest, the second-year player from Kirkland. His father is from France, and because of that, he was able to suit up for Team France in the World Baseball Classic.
Well. That's an interesting little tidbit there.
Absolutely. First pitch to DuForest from Lobster Munn. Throws a ball. So we seem to have picked up some wind here as the game has started, as our notes are flailing in the air. Ball hit foul by DuForest.
Good sign for the hitters, though. The ball's wind's carrying out to center field, so we may see a couple of ding-dongs today, Julian.
That would be great to have. Because I find in the CCBA you don't get a lot of these home runs to begin with.
Yeah. And I want to hear your home run call as well. So.
I think the one home run call I made as DuForest hits one into center field, it'll drop, and Sasha Lagarde will run to first. An RBI single for DuForest, and we get our first run of the CCBA Nationals in 2017.
Nice swing by DeForest there. He shortened up and cut her out to center field. I like that.
Emerson Dome from Vancouver.
Ah, Vancouver. I was in Victoria once. I didn't want to leave.
I've never been out to BC. That is one area of Canada I'd love to explore. I've been out obviously in Ontario, and this isn't my first trip to the Maritimes, but BC, though, out west, that's the next adventure for me.
I'll drive you.
All right. Lobs Munn throwing a first, trying to get out to Forrest. No dice. 1-1 count to Dome. Leggio drops the pitch from Lobs Munn. It's 2-1. 1-0 for McGill off an RBI single from Jonathan DuForest. Sasha Lagarde led off, got on base, stole a base, and he gets the first run in as Dome hits one to the third baseman, throw to second, throw to first, double play for Concordia to get out of the bottom half of the first. But it's McGill who strike first. The Redmen up 1-0 after 1 inning of play. Back at it for the second inning of this contest between McGill and Concordia here on the Bell TV 1 webcast here in Fredericton, New Brunswick for the 2017 CCBA National Championships. Julian McKenzie, Mike Augustine here on the broadcast. The first of 3 games at Royals Field. McGill, Concordia doing battle like they usually do. Whether you watch them for football or hockey or any sport played in their conference, the RSEQ back home to Quebecers watching this broadcast. As Minkowski gets the next Concordia batter swinging and missing. That's Chandler Philippos.
We used to have a rivalry for UNB. It was Atlantic Baptist University, but they changed their name to Crandall, and they aren't in the league anymore, so UNB doesn't really have a rival anymore. I don't think Holland College sort of, but kind of lost that rivalry with Crandall University since they're out of the league now, but it's many battles with them.
1-2 count for Minkowski. It was a hit from Philippos, goes right to Shepard. It's an easy out. Giuliano Leggio, the catcher, stepping up to the plate for Concordia. He attempted the throw to second in the first inning as Sasha Lagarde stole the second base. It was a lob thrown into shallow center, just missing the plate.
It's going to be fun to see the infielders in this tournament because this infield at Royals Field is good and bad, and there's good hops and bad hops, and it's going to be fun to see the infielders play the game out there because I've seen some dandy hops over the years. I'm sure they'll get used to it.
Minkowski started the game with back-to-back strikeouts. Then at one point had the bases loaded as Leggio hits a ball back and foul. Minkowski, the big pitcher from Peterborough, Ontario, from Toronto, Ontario, I should say, has a 1-1 count. And that ball just beans Leggio, and another man on base for Minkowski.
Don't rub it, Leggio. I don't think he is. That's the age-old rule when you get beaned. Make sure you don't touch it. You can touch it when the boys don't look at you, but make sure you tough it out and don't touch it. Don't rub it.
So it's a toughness thing. It's not necessarily like an actual, injury thing.
No.
Michael Macario stepping up to the plate, batting .238 for Concordia. The final man of this batting order, as Minkowski has already gone through the order 2 innings in. Man at first, strike thrown by Minkowski.
Macarios is definitely crowding the plate here. It's fun to see guys like that because they're definitely not afraid of anything. in there. They're dug in deep, and like to see guys that are kind of aggressive like that when they're crowding the plate.
The ball easily caught by Minkowski. Throw to second. They get the out. They get the double play.
Wow.
Took a hop into the glove of Minkowski. Throw to second. Back to first. Nice double play for McGill to get out of the top of the second.
He got a double clutch there too, Shepard, and he still got him. He's got a nice arm for a shortstop.
Shepard's been pretty consistent at the shortstop position, and Concordia will step into the field. So we'll take a quick break here on the Bell TV 1 webcast. Bottom of the second between Concordia and McGill here at Royals Field in Fredericton, New Brunswick, here on the Bell TV 1 webcast. Julian McKenzie, Mike Augustine here with you. First game of this national tournament between Concordia and McGill.
I think both teams settled in now. Their nerves are gone, and they're just playing the game right now.
Jared Kirsch hits a frozen rope foul into right field. The crowd that's assembled here at Royals Park was starting to get excited for the West Islip, New York native.
I want to hit some hair on it, Julian. That was a double if it stayed fair for sure.
1-0 is the score. McGill getting the first run of the game and only run so far off an RBI single from Jonathan DuForest in the bottom of the first. Lobser Munn throws a pitch way outside. 1-1 count. Jared Kirsch, one of the many Americans on this squad, more than half of this team from the States, as Kirsch hits one in the right field, an easy single for him.
Seeing eye single right there, Julian. All the good hitters get a couple of those.
Center fielder number 2, Andre Lagarde.
Andre Lagarde, the brother of Sasha Lagarde, stepping up for McGill.
That's always fun to have your brother playing on the same team. It's definitely exciting. I got to play with my brother a couple times in the intermediate circuit, and it was extremely fun.
Playing with your brother is fun. Imagine winning a championship with your brother. That was the case last year for McGill. Lagarde, once upon a time, was wearing the maroon and gold of the Concordia Stingers. Spent quite some time with the team, and eventually after that went off to play with McGill, as Lobser Munn will meet with his catcher, Giuliano Leggio, for a brief moment.
See if there's any movement here, Julian.
Lobser Munn has only allowed the one run so far and has an 0-1 count on Lagarde. Batting .414. Little high up.
Okay, 1-1 count. Sure, Kirsch got a little bit of speed here. We'll see what happens.
Andre Lagarde also a force to be reckoned with on the base path. So Concordia may have to watch out for him if he gets on base. Jared Kirsch currently occupying the first base. Down in the dirt, Leggio couldn't hold it, but Kirsch will stay around the vicinity of the first base. Still 1-0 for McGill. Count is 2-1. Thomas Lobser Munn with a 1-4 record throughout the regular season. The game one starter, the day one starter for Concordia. Ball hit into center field. It's going towards the wall. What a catch!
Nice catch.
Frédéric Lalonde with the outstanding slide and grab in center field, and that's an out.
Put a red star beside that one, Julian. That was looked like it was in the gap, and he gained that ground, and nice little play there. I like that one.
I think we have our first highlight, major highlight of this tournament. Hopefully, someone will put together some kind of a highlight pack. The Colorado native Camden Lawhead, the catcher, up at bat, 1 out, 2-1. Sorry, not 2-1 count. A 1 out for McGill as Lawhead will take ball 1. Still the 1 run scored up on the board for McGill. Jared Kirsch still at first base. Lobs Munn checking first, then checking the plate, then checking first, then throws to first. You can tell he was looking to throw there. Not successful. He's had a couple pickoff attempts. Nothing for him so far. Count is still 1-0. Way outside. Kirsch was off the bag a little bit. Leggio looked to first. But Kirsch again, more than content to stay at first.
It's a good pitch to hit here, Julian. 2-0 count. See what Lawhead does here with this pitch.
Finds contact, hits into right field. It'll take a bounce. Kirsch moves up to second. Lawhead goes to first. And Jack Pantalina will step into the batter's box with 1 out.
McGill in business again. 2 innings in a row. They've been
man at first and second for Jack Pantalina.
Julian, that's interesting signs by the third baseman, my friend. I've never seen that before. He's usually coaches, touch the cap, touch the chest, legs. He's doing the old finger wagging.
You can do a whole, show on the movement and the signs done by these base coaches. It's Casey Auerbach standing along the third base line, barking out his signals and instructions as Jack Pantalina has an 0-1 count in the batter's box. Lobs Munn with the 0-1 pitch. Another strike thrown.
It's a game within the game when it comes to signs. And I always had teammates that always wanted to steal the signs from the third base coach, and sometimes they get it, and sometimes they don't. So it's, like I said, a game within the game.
Pitch way outside, and a ball thrown by Lobs Munn. The first of 3 games here at Royals Field. McGill Concordia playing right now at 3 o'clock. Carleton and Acadia will play, and at 6:30, UNB and Dalhousie. The game's happening later in the evening as another ball is thrown.
I don't think we're going to see a bad game all weekend, Julian. These teams have made it this far, and they're definitely, every team's up for this one, and I don't think we're going to see any, we may, but I'm thinking we're going to see some really tight ball games through the weekend.
This is a fall October baseball. Anything can happen.
Got him.
And a strikeout thrown by Lobs Munn. Jack Pantalina caught looking.
Nice pitch. Painted the outside corner.
Now batting the second baseman.
See if Lobs Munn can get out of this trouble.
2 outs for Concordia. McGill still with the 1 run that they got from the first inning. Benji Kaiserman, the second baseman from Los Angeles.
Ooh, L.A. bound. My kind of town.
The pitch from Lobs Munn way outside.
They messed up the signs there, Julian. They're going to have a talk here. Usually they go by the second or third sign or fourth sign with a runner on second. Kind of crossed up there. I'm sure they'll get their signs correct.
Men at first and second. Camden Lawhead at first. Jared Kirsch at second. Thomas Lobs Munn trying to get out of this inning unscathed. Benji Kaiserman at the dish. And a strike thrown. And a 1-1 count.
A tournament like this, Julian, it's always nice to have your guys in the bottom of the lineup produce for you. And key hits by the 7, 8, 9 guys are usually well needed in a kind of a short tournament like this.
And they pop up going into right field.
Well, the wind took
easily
that
caught. The wind did take that one a little farther than it should have gone. And McGill unable to get a run. They get 2 men on base, but the score is still 1-0 as we enter the top of the third. McGill still with the 1-0 lead here at Royals Field. The first game of the CCBA National Championships. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the third inning of our game between McGill and Concordia, the first of 3 games at Royals Field here in beautiful Fredericton, New Brunswick. It is, we have no clouds in the sky. Bit chilly up top here from where we're at, Julian McKenzie, Mike Augustine. But this is a picture-perfect day, Mike.
Oh, it's beautiful out here. It's supposed to be 20 degrees. We'll see what happens, but let's see if you're dressed for the weather tomorrow morning, my friend. At 10 a.m. start for the first game tomorrow.
Yes, I will learn not to forget my jacket. I'm wearing a sweater here, but definitely I could have used a jacket, as Thomas Minkowski has thrown back-to-back balls. As we return to the top of the order, Kyle Hazel up at bat. I've been offered a jacket here in the broadcast booth, and I think, honestly, I've only been here for about a day, and I think you guys are so generous.
I got my Miramichi dinner jacket on today, Julian.
Can you explain to the viewers at home what that jacket is? I mean, because obviously we're going to have people from New Brunswick who probably know what that is, but just for everyone else who might not know.
Well, there's a couple rips in it, and it's checkered with red and blue. And that's all I got to say. It's called plaid, as Sib says.
Plaid, yes. A strike thrown by Minkowski.
I think we got
is it better or worse than the Canadian tuxedo?
It's more what's the word I'm trying to grab here? It's more strong.
More strong. So it can withstand like wind, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Kyle Hazel hits the ball straight to Troy Shepard. Throw to first, gets him.
I like Shepard at short. He's great hands, strong arm. You need a shortstop like that for
shortstop number 13, Bruce Tejada.
especially for a team as good as McGill. You want your guys up the middle to be defensively wizardry, as they say.
Mm-hmm. Bruce Tejada stepping up to the plate. He's 0 for 1. Both he and Kyle Hazel were struck out to start this game. The only 2 strikeouts thrown by Minkowski. And for the second straight at-bat, Troy Shepard makes the play from shortstop. Back-to-back outs.
Those are the ones you hate as a hitter. Stung right at him. 2 steps out of the box and you're already out. So those always bothered me when I was playing. So anyway.
Stephon Brady got the first hit off of Thomas Minkowski. We remember he ran into that lot of trouble he was in the first inning, had the bases loaded, but Concordia still wasn't able to get a run in.
He seemed to settle down from that kind of shaky first, and a lot of pitchers have a shaky first inning and they kind of settle down from there. So there's that off-speed pitch. Looks almost like a slider, Julian. Pretty sure he threw a 2-0 curveball at in the first inning, so he must have. Seems like he has a slider and a curve.
You got your 1-0 off-speed pitch. A fastball down the middle. It will go to the outfield, and that's easily caught. A 1-2-3 inning for McGill. We'll go to the bottom half of the third. Still 1-0 for McGill. Game 1 of the CCBA National Championships here in Fredericton, New Brunswick on the Bell TV 1 webcast. Bottom third, still 1-0 for McGill as we return to the top of the order for the men in red. Sasha Lagarde in the batter's box to face Thomas Lobzerman. Here on the Bell TV 1 webcast, Julian McKenzie, Mike Augustine in the broadcast booth from Royals Field. We hope you've been enjoying our webcast today.
Oh, yes. See if Lagarde manufactures another run like he did in the first. Stole the base, got over to third, and DeForest knocked him in.
It is the only run scored so far, the RBI single from DeForest as Lagarde
There you go again.
hits one into center field, and he's 2 for 2. 2 singles for the 26-year-old.
Now batting the shortstop, number 5, Troy Shepard.
Troy Shepard, the shortstop, he's made some pretty good plays in the top half of this inning. And now he gets his turn at bat.
Now, let's see what happens here. If Lagarde's going to go, or are we going to see a hit and run, or are we going to see a bunt? There's a lot of things they can do here with the number 2 batter, Shepard.
The pitch just
Just
painting
inside.
the inside corner. Calling it a ball. Lagarde still staying at first. LJ Aguinaga, the first base coach for McGill, a lot quieter, a lot less vocal, a lot less movement from him along the lines. As
Oh, there
Troy
it is.
Shepard hits a blooper into left field. Both he and Lagarde take base. Lagarde at second, Shep at first.
Looked like it hit the edge of the grass and took a
Now batting
big hop over the
right
third
fielder,
baseman.
number 14.
Like I said, this infield,
Jonathan
it's got some dips and dives.
Absolutely. That was a monster hop. Just going right over the head of Michael Macarios. As Jonathan DeForest, he hit the RBI single in the first. He's up at the dish, no outs. Man at first and second. Lobzerman's pitch. Throws a ball. DeForest patiently awaiting the next pitch from Lobzerman. He's a bit of a hustler around these bases, the way you'll see him in his runs. The low one is thrown to DeForest.
Looks like Lobsterman is definitely taking his time with DeForest here. He doesn't want to give him anything solid to hit, so he's kind of nibbling right now.
Troy Shepard and Sasha Lagarde on base as Lobzerman is trying to cut through the top of the order for McGill. Still 1-0 between these two sides. Could be on pace for a much lower scoring effort than the last 2 times they faced against each other. Ball popped up in the air, heading into center field, and that's caught for the out. Emerson Dome stepping up into the batter's box.
Number 12, Emerson
Nice
Dome.
pitch by Lobsterman there. Took a little bit off there. Looked like it was a curveball. Kind of surprised DeForest there. A little late on the swing. How's that post treating you, Julian? Are you seeing okay?
Fortunately for our viewers who are watching on the webcast, they do not have to deal with the monstrosity that is this big black pole at Royals Park, which otherwise is a spectacular field, as Emerson Dome hits it foul. But yes, no, from our vantage point up in the broadcast booth, we do have a giant pole that's in front of us. But fortunately for the viewers watching on the Bell TV 1 webcast, they do not have to deal with that. They get to deal with some premier camera angles. I have to say, the way this webcast is being set up, this is top-notch stuff.
A1.
The pitch from Lobzerman, not A1 here at Royals Field. 1-1 count for the Concordia pitcher. Dome hits one foul. Was painting the line for a second, and then it just veered left.
Lobsterman's throwing his off-speed stuff a bit more in this inning. Second time through the order, you don't really want to show him everything in the first at-bat, so he's kind of mixing it up. That's good to see.
Lobserman, aside from the one run he's allowed, he's done his part to keep Concordia in this game. Howie Schwartz hasn't had to call on a pitcher to go into the bullpen as of yet. Obviously, the longtime manager of the Stingers. Throw to second for the pickoff attempt. That looked a little close.
Interesting step off by Lobsterman. Usually you do a spin, but he stepped off and twisted over. Almost got him.
Sasha Lagarde safe at second. A 1-2 count for Emerson Dome.
That's in play. That's in play, Julian.
It's in play. A chance for an out. They get it.
Good pitch.
Emerson Dome hits the pop-up. It is caught. And 2 outs for Jared Kirsch.
Now batting the third baseman, number 21, Jared Kirsch.
Kirsch 1 for 1 with a single in the second. Led off the second with a single. Strained it at second, actually, as well.
2 outs, men at first and second. McGill trying to cash in some runs. They still only have the lone run up on the Stingers. Kirsch hits one into right field, but that's foul again. The second at-bat he's had where he starts off with a long frozen rope into foul territory.
Definitely a long strike. It's the ones you kind of want back as a hitter because another split second, that one was probably out of here.
Oh, 1 count, the pitch. Another foul from Kirsch.
I like what Lobsterman's doing here. He's mixing up his pitches. Second time through the order. And, he's kind of keeping McGill on their toes here.
Andre Lagarde on deck for McGill. 2 outs in the bottom of the third. The pitch. Yet another foul.
He missed his spot there, Julian. Catcher was set up outside, and he threw that inside. That could have been a big mistake, but yeah, got lucky there.
Hey, sit him down. 0-2 smart still. Let's go.
As mentioned before, McGill Concordia, the first of 3 games taking place at this ballpark. Some really good action here on the Bell TV1 webcast. Lobserman throws one outside.
Got him.
They get Lagarde just in time at third.
Big no-no, Julian. Never ever want to get the third out at third base, and wow.
Lagarde looked as if he might have been a little late to that run. Is that throw to third well in time to get the out? Just like that, after 3, it is still 1-0 in favor of McGill. Top of the 4th we go as Concordia and McGill continue to do battle in the first game of the CCBA National Championships at Royals Field in Fredericton, New Brunswick. Julian McKenzie, Mike Augustine in the broadcast booth. I'm a lot warmer up here now thanks to the jacket supplied by our stats person for today, Kevin.
Hey, Kev Love, he's all about making people comfortable, especially out-of-towners. So
absolutely, really appreciate this. The generosity of New Brunswickens. Amazing.
That's a good one, New Brunswickens. I haven't.
Is
heard
that
one.
is that it? Is that not how New Brunswickens are?
New Brunswickers.
New Brunswickers. My apologies for that.
Hey, we can say New Brunswickens all we want. It's our day today.
I want to make sure we get these things right.
Woo! First base coach had a.
Oh, look at that spill. As a Fabien Dunstan almost got hit by that foul ball, and he took a tumble.
Yeah. You got to be on your toes at first and third base boxes.
Absolutely. At least he's able to smile about it. Thomas Minkowski, meanwhile, throwing a ball, but he has otherwise got 2 strikes in this at-bat.
I've noticed that he doesn't go from the full. He throws from the stretch. So whatever keeps you comfortable, it doesn't really matter. But something interesting.
Another one low into the dirt. As Shane Mullen, the DH, is up at bat for Concordia.
Walked in the first, got stranded at second. That was the bases loaded first inning for Concordia. Didn't really go anywhere.
Mullen hits one in the right. He'll get the hit. Concordia getting a man on base. David Fontaine will step up to the plate. It's been a close 1-0 encounter.
Now batting the left fielder, number 40, David Fontaine.
Now, let's see if we got any movement here. I know it's the top of the fourth. It's still pretty early, but see if third base coach here is going to get some movement or, like I said, maybe a hit and run. See what happens here.
Both teams have had ample opportunity to cash in some base runners, but McGill, with the only run in this game so far, the pitch from Minkowski. Looked like Fontaine, wasn't sure from, I think from my vantage point, it looked like he may have been trying to show a bunt. He does have the first baseman up. He does have a man at first base, I should say.
He probably thought that was going outside as well. He may be bunting here, Julian.
The pitch from Minkowski. He is showing bunt. Lawhead waiting for it to
Nice play
go
by
foul.
Lawhead. Heads up play by Lawhead there. He let that go. At first glance, it looked like it was going to stay fair, and it just kind of rolled. It was a little, especially down the third base line, I find that there's almost like a goes left, goes foul a lot over the years I've watching games here. It's almost like there's a magnet for the ball that kind of rolls foul down the third baseline.
David Fontaine returning to the batter's box. 0-2 count. Minkowski only has 2 strikeouts to his tally today. Can he get a third? The pitch. Throw to first. Not in time, but Minkowski getting his 3rd strikeout of the afternoon.
Well, Fontaine didn't get the job done there. He
For Frederick.
wanted to get that runner over to second, and he had a couple chances there, and it didn't really pan out. First game of the tournament, you really want to make sure that you do your job and get guys moved over if the time calls for it.
Frederick Lalonde stepping up to the batter's box for Concordia. The pitch from Minkowski.
Nice pitch.
Still 1-0 McGill in the top of the 4th. 1-0 count for the Toronto native pitcher. Another strike thrown by Minkowski. 1-1 count. 1 out, 1 man on base for Concordia. Very close encounter so far as Minkowski throws to first.
Yeah, plenty of time. Usually want to take an extra step if you have lots of time getting back to first.
Lalonde, the 2nd year from Oka, Quebec. A stolen base for Concordia. He will get it.
Nice.
David Fontaine, sorry, not David Fontaine. Shane Mullen, the DH, easily sliding into second as Lawhead's throw just a little outside from the base.
He had a good jump there too, Julian. You had to get some movement here. I know it's early, but you don't want to wait till the 6th and 7th to get guys over to second. So here we go.
1 out, 1-2 count. Thomas Minkowski has a man at second. The 1-2. Got him. 4 strikeouts for Minkowski, including 2 in this inning. He had 2 in the first, a little quiet, and now in the top half of the 4th, he has 2 strikeouts.
Just like Lobserman, he's second time through the order. He's kind of showed off his off-speed stuff now, just to, as I said, keep guys off balance.
The right fielder, Chandler Philippas, stepping up to the plate with 2 outs. Shane Mullins still at second for Concordia. Minkowski darting back and forth between home plate and second. He opts to throw the pitch. Throws a ball to Philippas.
I said earlier, Julian, 7, 8, 9 guys. You'd like to see him produce for you. It's just a little extra for you to have those guys hitting the ball well.
The pitch from Minkowski. A little inside. 2-0 count.
See what Philippas does here now. He's got a hitter's count. 2 out. See if he's letting loose here. Popping the hips, Julian.
Game-tying run at second. The pitch from Minkowski, another one inside, and a 3-0 count. You like your batter's count at 2-0. 3-0 is it's prime.
Yeah, well, some guys get the green light 3-0, and some guys take that pitch because first base is open. See what happens here. I'm sure he's going to take this pitch.
The pitch, and a strike thrown by Minkowski.
He's still in the driver's seat here, though. So.
In the first inning, Minkowski had thrown his second of his back-to-back strikeouts. And then the next batter he faced, I believe he was at a point where he's at a 3-0 count, and then threw a strike.
Yeah.
So a bit of a kind of a mirror image happening now as Minkowski walks Philippas. And similar to the first inning, Minkowski has found himself in some trouble here. 2 men on base. Giuliano Leggio steps up into the batter's box.
Hit by pitch in the second inning. Actually, he was the second out on that 1-6-3 double play in the second.
And I believe that hit by pitch on Leggio led to the bases being loaded, if my memory serves me correct. My memory might not be all that good, as the throw to second, not in time, as Minkowski tried to pick off Mullen.
I'm sure you have good memory, Julian.
I got this one wrong, did I?
Yeah.
It's fine. It's totally fine. No, but Leggio getting on base with the hit by pitch.
Then the 1-6-3, end of the inning, second inning. Tough play here.
Ball popped up into center field, and once again, Andre Lagarde, nothing to fear while he's there. He loses his hat in the process.
The ball's carrying here. That almost looked like it was going. It was shallow center, but it seemed like the wind's keeping the ball up in the air. So
we'll be right back here on the Bell TV 1 webcast. 1-0 McGill against the Concordia Stingers. Bottom of the fourth here at Royals Field. Julian McKenzie, Mike Augustine on the Bell TV 1 webcast. Thanks so much for joining us. McGill, the bottom of the fourth, still up 1-0. We didn't have much stats going for us because our stat man, Kevin, felt it was necessary at the top half of the inning to get himself some hamburgers and hot dogs. He says he smells like hot dogs now, but I don't think he has any right to complain.
Oh, man. I'll tell you what, we're going to have some fun this weekend, Julian.
I think we will. I'm already having fun right now, so, you know, good precursor to come as Jared Kirsch hits a grounder out. And McGill trying to add to their 1-0 lead as Andre Lagarde has been fine in center field defensively. He steps up into the batter's box. The second at bat in this inning.
He flew out to center field in the second. So he's looking for redemption here in the bottom of the fourth.
The second game here at this field, Carleton versus Acadia. We saw some Acadia players sliding into the ballpark. I haven't really seen any Carleton players, but I'm sure they're around as well.
Acadia's been a surprise for sure. They kind of limped into the playoffs and got themselves to the Nationals with their good play in the playoffs. So it's going to be fun to see them play. See how they still got that positive energy rolling going into this national tournament.
Andre Lagarde facing 0-2 in the count against Thomas Lobzer-Munn. Gets caught looking there. A 1-2 count. Lobs run only one strikeout to this point. Lagarde hits this one hard, but that goes way out of the park, foul.
You won't see that one again. That's probably down in the St. John River. That's for sure. That one's probably rolled down the hill. 2 balls, 2 strikes here.
It's a packed broadcast booth here. We have the crew for the TV1 webcast, our statsman Kevin, who no longer smells like food.
Gonna waft away from him. That's good for me anyway.
And then our in-game announcer slash scoreboard operator Sibs, as Andre Lagarde hits a fly ball in the infield. It is snagged by Kyle Hazel. 2 outs. Guess Camden Lawhead steps up to the dish. But yeah, very packed up here in the broadcast booth.
Oh, yeah.
We'll find a way to keep each other company throughout the weekend here.
Yeah, keep each other warm too.
Keep each other warm,
especially
as well.
those night games, those early morning games, those night games. Julian, get ready.
Early morning games for sure. 10 o'clock start for McGill and Acadia tomorrow. And then the 1 o'clock game, Carleton against Concordia. And then Dalhousie and Acadia at 4. And then UNB Carleton at 7. So 4 games on Friday. Another ball thrown by Lobser Munn as Camden Lawhead. A 2-0 count for the catcher.
Lawhead singled in the 2nd inning. He was stranded at first base.
The 2-0, very low. It'll be 3-0 for Lawhead.
Lobster Munn has thrown great, but there's certain times that he kind of overthrows his pitch, and goes wide. There it is again.
And a walk for Camden Lawhead. 2 outs, but a man on base for Jack Panthelina.
Now batting the left fielder, 52, Jack Panthelina.
Gathering at the mound here, the settling down Lobster Munn after a 4-pitch walk. Oh man.
It was funny to you?
No, Kevin just showed me a text. He's getting his phone's blowing up.
Statsman Kevin, during the game, you should be compiling stats for us, but has instead left during the game for food, and is now distracting the color commentator with his phone blowing up.
Oh god.
I mean, hope this doesn't keep up too long
Well,
throughout the weekend.
we'll see. We're gonna see. Well, we're gonna have different stat guys up here. I think Kev's gonna be busy as well with his UNB ball team.
For sure, of course. Statsman Kevin, though, I mean, depending on how the second guy comes in, he may be low on the Statsman rankings that are being put together. As Panthelina, and the 1-1 count. As the scoreboard operator, a little late to adding the numbers in.
He'll find it.
He will find it for sure. Panthelina hits one foul. Camden Lawhead can't move up to second.
That's 2 balls, 1 strike. Yep. Okay, Panthelina, 2nd inning, struck out looking. So that was his. That was Lobster Munn's only strikeout of the day.
Oh, see, I was going to bring that up, but I wasn't sure if my memory was as good. Lobster Munn throwing to first. Can't get Camden. Benji Kaiserman on deck for McGill. 2 outs, 2-1 is the count. As Jack Panthelina in the batter's box. Struck out the first time. Trying to get a hit the second time. 3-1 count now.
Lobster Munn's kind of lost it here in the 4th. He's kind of rolling along. In and out of trouble, but he's kind of lost his release point here now in the bottom of the fourth.
Bottom of the fourth here, Concordia still down 1-0. If you're manager Howie Schwartz, do you consider getting someone warmed up in the bullpen right now?
Why not? This is you want to win the first game of this tournament, and you definitely want to keep this close. There's another walk.
And a walk, back-to-back walks thrown by Lobzer Munn. And a coach from the Concordia dugout will come to meet the pitcher, as McGill now have men at first and second.
I think we're going to get some movement in the bullpen for Concordia. I think the boys are kind of shaking off the cobwebs, yeah.
Just as we were asking that question about whether Concordia should have a man out pitching in the bullpen, it looks like we may finally see it from the maroon and gold. Justin Benoit is out in the bullpen.
Lefty Justin Benoit.
Sammy Brochu also going out as well.
Double barrel action, Julian. Lefty and a righty.
It's Concordia, they're down 1-0. As you mentioned, Lobzer Munn
The second baseman, number 32,
starting to fade.
Benji Kaiserman.
Well, he hasn't had a 1-2-3 inning, and he's definitely been in and out of trouble. So let's see what happens here. First and second, 2 out. Kaiserman's up.
Benji Kaiserman to the plate, men at first and second, 2 outs. An opportunity for the men in red to cash in some runs and add to the 1-0 lead. Kaiserman hits a blooper to first, and that's going to do it for the inning. Wow. Kaiserman leaving men stranded at first and second.
Well, just after something like that, he's been struggling, and all of a sudden Kaiserman swings at the first pitch. That's kind of that's 2 mistakes now for McGill. The throw at a third, and now this kind of a aggressive first pitch and swinging. So, hey, Concordia's out of trouble.
Without a doubt, the closest encounter so far between these two teams all year. We return to the 5th inning, 1-0 McGill, here on the Bell TV 1 webcast. To the top of the 5th we go here at Royals Field in Fredericton, New Brunswick. Michael Macarios leading off the inning for Concordia. 1-0 McGill. The top of the 5th, Thomas Minkowski. 4 strikeouts so far for the Toronto pitcher, as McGill still holding on to a 1-0 lead.
Macarios hit into that 1-6-3 double play in the second.
The 1-0. Macarios hits a fly ball into right field.
Tough play, Julian.
It'll drop. DeForest and Pantalina in the outfield were both staring at it drop. They were both running onto it, looking to see who between the two would get it. Neither of them come up with it. That ball drops.
We call that a duck snort single.
A duck snort single. I've never heard of that baseball term in my life.
Today is the day, my friend.
A duck. You got to explain that one to me. Why is that called a duck snort single?
I have no idea. You're gonna have to ask the old school baseball players that I've played with over the years. I have no idea. But it's a beautiful thing, duck snort.
We're at the top of the Concordia order now as Kyle Hazel steps up to the plate. Michael Macarios at first. Look to see if we'll have any more of these duck snort singles, whatever they may be.
I'm full of jargons, my friend, so we'll definitely have some interesting words coming out of my mouth.
Do you have a jargon from that pitch from Minkowski? It was a strike.
That's a get me over fastball.
Okay, we'll try to use them in earnest. Not for every single one.
It was a curveball, actually, so get me over a curveball.
Thomas Minkowski has had a, you don't want to say maybe not necessarily an up and down day. He hasn't allowed a run. But he's had instances where, he's looking great and he has these strikeouts. He has 4 to his tally today. But he's allowed a couple men on base. As Hazel shows bunt, strike is thrown, 0-2 count. Macarios still at first.
Hazel 0 for 2, struck out swinging in the first and grounded to short in the third. See if you got some movement here by Macarios.
Macarios starting to move off the first base bag. Minkowski quickly darts to first.
Oh, back in plenty of time.
Not in time.
Longer than your body.
Still 1-0 between these two sides. A close encounter in comparison to what's been had throughout the season as Hazel hits one to Kaiserman, throws to first. They won't get the runner at second. Macarios advancing to second, but McGill still getting an out.
Yeah, nice job by Hazel there. 0-2 count. He wanted to get something into play, get that runner to second. Did his job.
In the 4 matchups during the regular season between these two sides, Concordia scored a grand total of 5 runs against McGill as Bruce Tejada steps up to the plate.
Just goes to show it's a different animal when we get into a big national tournament like this. Anything can happen.
McGill entering this tournament with the best offense, at least the most runs for among any other team. Carleton the closest team, and we see some of their players sitting and spectating in this game. They're walking along the stands right now, so that's why you're hearing some of the clang, clang, clang of the benches. But Carleton, 42 less runs than McGill, as Minkowski throws a strike. McGill, their offense, known to score in bunches. They only have the 1 run so far in this encounter against Concordia.
Tejada, 0 for 2, struck out in the first, grounded out to short in the third. See what he can do here.
Pitch from Minkowski, another strike. 1 out, Michael Macarios, the only base runner on from Concordia. He represents the tying run.
This will be big for Concordia if they can get this guy in, just to tie the game here. Be huge for the morale.
A blooper.
Oh, we dropped it.
Kaiserman can't come up with it, and Macarios will advance to third. In a moment of hesitation, Kaiserman realized he couldn't throw to first, and Michael Macarios took the opportunity to advance to third.
Wow.
And with 1 out, Stephon Brady steps up to the plate.
I hate to give it to him, but that was an E4. Should have been caught. But, wow, that's huge.
Blooper out to second. Kaiserman can't come up with it. And even worse for the Concordia defense, or for the McGill defense now. Men at the corners with 1 out. Thomas Minkowski.
Brady's 1 for 2, singled in the first, flew out to center in the third.
Minkowski looking to deliver his first pitch in this at-bat to Brady.
Wind's picking up here too, Julian.
Indeed it is. Ball thrown outside. 1-0 count. The wind's starting to pick up here. It's been kind of here and there this afternoon. And can the winds of change blow through, and can Concordia get on the board?
Wow.
Tying run at third.
Very good.
Minkowski once again throwing to first. Tried to get out Tejada. The count is 1-0. It's hasn't been reflected on the scoreboard as of yet, but the count is 1-0 as the umpire at home plate flashes the signal.
He's going.
And a runner goes at second. Shepard can't hold on to it, and just like that, Concordia now have men at second and third. Troy Shepard slowly getting up to his feet.
Interesting there. It could have been a couple different plays there with first and third. Okay, 2-0 count.
Bruce Tejada taking advantage of the open second base, stealing it. Troy Shepard could not come up with it, the shortstop. A 2-0 count. for Stephon Brady.
Looked like Shepard was going to cut that off and kind of short hopped him there. That's probably why Macarios didn't really get off third as much as I thought he would have.
Macarios still representing the tying run at third and the go-ahead run at second. 2-0 count. Minkowski's pitch.
3-0.
Paints the inside corner, and just like that, you get the hitter's count of 3-0. Stephon Brady. Patiently waiting for the pitch, and a strike thrown.
Okay, 3-1. 1 out, second and third. Got your number 3 hitter Brady up, so this is what you want if you're Concordia.
The pitch from Minkowski, and a walk. And once again, Minkowski finds himself in a situation where he has the bases loaded.
We do have action in McGill's bullpen.
We do indeed, and Jason Starr is walking up to the mound. We're waiting to see what he'll do here. Will he keep Minkowski in? Or will he opt to go for whoever is in the bullpen? It is kind of far from our vantage point. We're not able to tell who it is. We'll be able to read out the name as soon as we can get it for you.
I'm sure Minkowski's definitely telling the coach, give me one more, skipper. I still got a lot of juice left.
Still 1-0 for McGill. Minkowski still only has the 1 out, but bases are loaded. McGill does have a pitcher warming up in the bullpen. And Shane Mullen, the designated hitter, with a golden opportunity to cash in the tying run of this game, the top of the 5th inning at Royals Field. The pitch, a strike thrown by Minkowski.
Mullen 1 for 1 with a walk and a stolen base. So he's been active as the cleanup hitter for Concordia.
The 0-1 just veers outside, and a 1-1 count.
If you're Concordia, you got to score here, at least 1 run.
It's an ideal situation for them as they do have the 1 run. A couple feet away. And a strike thrown by Minkowski as Sam Green is the pitcher in the McGill dugout. Sorry, in the McGill bullpen. I believe he's
51?
Yes, 51. One-two count. Minkowski 4 strikeouts to his tally today.
Wow.
A 5th one thrown off a nasty pitch.
He threw 4 straight curveballs in that at-bat, and he got him.
And that is quite the outing you need from your pitcher in a situation like this. The second time he's facing bases loaded. David Fontaine stepping up to the plate for Concordia.
He's got a lot of bite to his off-speed. That's almost close to a slider.
Come on, baby, find yours. Let's go get him.
The pitch.
Uh-oh.
And a drop by Lawhead. And Concordia will score a run. Lawhead couldn't handle the pitch. Minkowski knows it. Taps on his chest to say, my bad. And it's 1-all in the top of the 5th. Minkowski just threw his 5th strikeout, and an errant pitch to David Fontaine results in the tying run being scored.
Concordia's still in business here too, Julian. The 2nd and 3rd. Fontaine can do some damage.
The pitch from Minkowski in the dirt, 2-0 count. Minkowski did his absolute best to keep McGill in the lead, but an errant throw. Camden Lawhead couldn't handle it. goes behind him, and just like that, Michael Makarios was able to score from third.
Nice.
Looked like another slider.
He's definitely getting that slider over for a strike. Fontaine 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout.
2-1 count for Minkowski.
Another one.
And that one goes foul.
It's like Minkowski's going to his off-speed stuff to get guys out. It's kind of, his fastball is kind of going up, down, and all around. Slider's working for him.
Sam Green still warming up for McGill in the bullpen. He's warming up with the catcher, Tituan DeLorme. Meanwhile, Minkowski up at the mound. Still has runners behind him at second and third. 2-2 count.
Right at
And
him.
it's an easy catch for Benji Kaiserman. We have a tie game as we enter the bottom half of the fifth. A runner scoring from third off a botched pitch from Minkowski, and we have a 1-1 game as we enter the bottom of the fifth. We are back live. The bottom of the fifth inning here between Concordia and McGill. Jake Guggenheimer stepping up to the plate as a pinch hitter for McGill. Jake Guggenheimer is sometimes slotted in as an outfielder, sometimes slotted in as a catcher. And when the team needs him most, as it is right now, they'll need him to get on base. As Thomas Lobzerman throws the first pitch to him. It's a ball thrown to Guggenheimer. 1-1 game between these two sides as McGill find themselves tied with their crosstown rival.
That's interesting, Julian. Guggenheimer in for Lagarde.
It's a very interesting substitution. Absolutely interesting, considering what Lagarde is able to give you on the base path. And a ball thrown out, way out of the reach of
My only explanation is he might be either hurt, because he taught one of McGill's top hitters, so we'll see what happens here. Maybe we'll get some information for the next game, or we'll see what happens.
Yes, an interesting situation here with McGill. Jake Guggenheimer leading off in favor of Sasha Lagarde. And a nice pitch from Lobzerman. A strike thrown. 2-1 count.
I think it's 3-1.
It's 3-1. My apologies. Troy Shepard on deck for the Redmen.
Okay, good pitch to hit here for Guggenheimer. 3-1 count. Ooh.
And a walk for Guggenheimer. He gets on base. So you don't get Lagarde on, but you get what you would want from your leadoff guy. You want him on base.
Now we got a pinch runner here.
And a pinch runner coming in now as Nick Linton stepping in for Guggenheimer. So Sasha Lagarde goes out in favor of Jake Guggenheimer, who gets walked, goes to first, and Nick Linton is the new base runner for McGill. And Troy Shepard up at the dish. No outs, bottom of the fifth. McGill in a situation now, they're trying to get these runs to escape this tie.
Well, with Linton pinch runner, he must have some speed. We'll see what happens here with Shepard. Linton's definitely on the go here, whether it's a sack bunt or a stolen base.
And a strike thrown by Lobzerman.
34.
Troy Shepard awaiting the 0-1 pitch from Lobzerman. Linton at first. Jonathan DeForest on deck. That ball went outside. Leggio was ready to throw to first, but Linton still keeping his foot on base.
1-1 count. This is Good time for a hit and run or even a stolen base.
Linton, the second year from Ridgewood, New Jersey, getting into action at a pivotal moment for McGill. That ball is hit into left field by Troy Shepard, and just like that, McGill at first and second with Jonathan DeForest, who hit the RBI single in the first inning to get McGill's only run of this game. He steps up to the plate.
That's right, too. That's another one for Shepard, another seeing eye single. In the third, he hit that big chopper over the third baseman. So he's getting lucky with the infield grass here.
It looks like Howie Schwartz is up on the mound with Lobster Munn. Do we see a pitching change
here?
Yeah,
I think that's it for him. He's through well. Oh, he might be keeping him, don't know. I'm sure Lobster Munn's doing the old, come on, coach, give me one more. No, I think he's staying in.
An interesting situation here as no outs are on. McGill have two men on base. The guy who scored the RBI single, who hit the RBI single in the first inning, is up at bat. And they still have, it looks like we're trying to make trying to make my eyes see out of the back here. It looks like they have two pitchers out throwing in the bullpen. They have options.
Yeah, they're warm and ready. Now, DeForest hitting third, first and second. Are you sacrificing here, or are you letting them swing away?
I figure if you're DeForest in this point, a sack might not be a bad idea. You have no outs. Just advancing the base runners should be fine. But for a guy like DeForest,
we could swing the bat, right?
Swing the bat. It wouldn't surprise me if he's just trying to put it in play, and you trust on the speed of Nick Linton to get home from second.
He's swinging away, Julian. This guy looks like a professional hitter, so we'll see what happens here.
DeForest previously played for France at the World Baseball Classic. So he's been in some pressure situations before, obviously with the playing with Team France and all the like there. Another pitch outside.
Yeah, he's definitely overthrowing here. I've seen a lot of that over the last couple innings. Okay.
Lobster Munn with a man at second and first behind him. Still no outs. McGill with a golden opportunity to cash in some runs and break the deadlock. The pitch.
Double play ball here.
An opportunity. It dribbles into center field. Linton going into home. Shepard will go to third. DeForest, another RBI single. And it's 2-1 McGill.
Once again, that infield, kind of a crazy hop there.
A crazy hop indeed, as it just escapes the glove of Bruce Tejada and ends up in shallow center. And Nick Linton, subbed in for Sasha Lagarde, drives it, is brought home for the go-ahead run, and it looks as if Concordia will finally make a pitching change.
DeForest, that's his second RBI of the game, so he's definitely leading in the player of the game category.
Sammy Brochu, who's one of the two pitchers out in the bullpen for Concordia, he makes his way to the mound, and he will take over for Lubzer Munn. 2-1 McGill in the first game at the CCBA Nationals here in Fredericton, New Brunswick. Julian McKenzie, Mike Augustine on the Bell TV1 webcast. Thank you so much for joining us here. So we're in the bottom of the fifth.
It's definitely a perfect first game of the tournament. Hopefully this trickles down to other games, and I'm a big fan of tight games. I don't really like 10-0 finals. I'm more of a tight squeeze kind of guy, so it's definitely a perfect start for this tournament.
The closest encounter these two teams have had throughout the regular season, Concordia lost that game by a score of 3-1. That was on September 13th. A week later, these two teams met again, McGill beating them 4-1. And then a week after that, 8 days after that, I should say, 11-1, McGill winning. They had to bring in the mercy rule. And then a couple days later, 12-2, McGill winning again. Those last two results against Concordia were in the midst of I believe a 6-game streak. where McGill kept winning games by mercy rule.
Well, this is a tough spot for Brochu. First and third, none out. Let's see what kind of parts he's got here. He's got a little herky-jerky delivery too as well.
Brochu, the second-year player from Montreal in exercise science at Concordia University, previously played with the LaSalle Cardinals.
Okay.
That's around my way, actually, LaSalle.
Okay.
Concordia going to their reliever in order to try to save this game. Jonathan DeForest, in my eyes, I think you look at him as the star of the game so far.
Yeah.
He's driven in both runs for McGill in clutch moments, obviously getting the first run on the board, and then in a situation where McGill finds themselves tied, he comes through and he drives in Nick Linton as Emerson Dome steps up to the plate.
We thought he was going to bunt there in that situation, but we all knew he was swinging away. Number 3 hitter, so away we go here with Dome.
Emerson Dome, the first baseman.
0 for 2 today, Julian. Hit into a 5-4-3 double play in the first and popped up to the first baseman in the third inning.
Inside pitch, he takes ball 1. We're not too long away from the second game at these national championships. Carleton Acadia, that game will start at 3 o'clock here on this very same field. Another inside pitch and a second ball thrown by Sammy Brochu. Brochu 0-1 this season as Dome got a piece of it, and it lands out of play right next to the stands. There was a fan who was looking to grab it for himself, but he had no glove.
That was McNevin out there trying to be a cool guy, trying to grab with his bare hands.
Mark McNevin. The Mark McNevin.
The Mark McNevin.
Emerson Dome, swing and a miss. 2-2 count. He was trying to chase for it, and he caught nothing but air.
Nice pitch by Brochu. Definitely needs a strikeout here. Anything more would be...
Brochu, the 2-2.
There he goes.
DeForest running the second, and he'll go there unchallenged. 2-1 is the score for McGill. No outs to this point in the bottom of the 5th, as Emerson Dome has an opportunity to cash in some runs. Full count.
Big pitch here.
It bounces foul.
Do it all over again here.
Concordia still warming up another pitcher in the bullpen.
Brochu, right from the get-go, high-stress pitches here.
A pitch from Brochu into the dirt and a walk given to Dome, and bases loaded for McGill as Jared Kirsch steps up to the plate.
This can go a couple different ways, Julian. Open up this game. The bases loaded, none out. It's all up to Brochu here. See what he can do to get out of this jam.
30 RBIs in the regular season for Jared Kirsch. And some RBI here could, as you mentioned, Augie, blow this game wide open.
Kirsch, 1 for 2 with a single. Got stranded at second in the second inning.
Brochu the pitch. A little close to Kirsch. And a ball thrown. Bases loaded. The pitch from Brochu. Another one outside.
3-0.
And a 3-0 count. Brochu in danger of walking in the third run for McGill.
2-0. 2-1.
Excuse us here. We have a 2-1 count here.
We're all over the place.
Kirsch hits this
That's
one.
fair.
Fair! And a run will score. DeForest running in now. It looks as if we'll get a second. Just like that, it is 4-1. An RBI double by Jared Kirsch.
Little bobble by the right fielder as well. Wow, like I said, it's not wide open yet, but that was a huge hit by Kirsch.
One aspect that I've noticed from this McGill team for as long as I've been around them, they score in bunches, and there's still no outs up on the scoreboard. Concordia could be in danger of taking in a wave of runs as Andre Lagarde steps up to the plate. There are still men at second and third as Brochu throws his first pitch.
Lagarde 0 for 2. Flew out to center in the second. Popped up to the right second baseman in the fourth, sorry.
Brochu, the pitch. Lagarde hits this one foul.
Tough spot for Brochu. It's tough to get out of a jam when you come in there first and third with none outs, so he's definitely battling here.
Another one trying to paint the inside corner. A ball thrown by Brochu. As mentioned earlier, September 20th, both these two teams met up. The game ended 4-1 for McGill. McGill yet to lose in their last 25 league games.
Okay, so we got 2-2 count.
Three runs have been brought in by McGill in the bottom of the fifth. And a pitch from Brochu. Low in the dirt, 3-2 count now.
Seems every batter Brochu's thrown to is going to full count.
Brochu in danger of once again loading the bases. A swing and a miss, strike three. Brochu gets a strikeout on Andre Lagarde. He needed that out as Camden Lawhead will step up to the plate.
Yeah, that was a huge strikeout for Brochu. See what Lawhead can do here. He's 1 for 1 with a single and a walk.
Camden Lawhead, one out, men at second and third for McGill. The pitch going into left field. It is caught, but that's not going to stop Dome from coming into home. It's 5-1 off the sac fly.
Nice heads-up play by Dome there. He looked like it was going to drop in, but he stayed at third to tag, so good heads-up play by Dome.
Jack Pantalina up next. Sac fly from Camden Lawhead has made this game 5-1, and Howie Schwartz once again coming up to the mound. Hasn't yet made the signal to the bullpen. It doesn't look as if he will make that pitching change as of yet. Just like that, it's gone from a close encounter where McGill was up 1-0 for a good chunk of the game off that one run. And then in the top half of the fifth inning, a 1-1 game ensued after the errant pitch from Thomas Minkowski.
Hey, finish this here, baby. Let's go.
And now in the bottom half of the fifth, 4 runs have been brought in. 5-1 is the score as Jack Pantalina hits a dribbler to third. It misses the glove of Brady. And I believe that'll be an E3 as Pantalina advances to second. Jared Kirsch scores. It gets back to worse
Julian,
for Concordia.
Julian, huge mistake. I'm going to give him an E5 there on the throw. Tough play for the first baseman. Wow, he got mistakes are being made now, and it's getting kind of ugly.
It is getting ugly. 6-1 is the score. 5 runs have been brought in the bottom half of the fifth inning. We went from a game that was billed as the closest between these two teams in a while to a blowout in a matter of an inning. Leggio almost couldn't handle that pitch from Brochu, still in the game. Manager Howie Schwartz did come out at one point to meet with Brochu. He still has at one point he did have a pitcher in the bullpen, but
he's he's letting Brochu hopefully finish this inning, and we'll see what happens in the 6th.
As Benji Kaiserman steps up to the plate for McGill. A man at second for the LA native to drive in.
Benji 0 for 2, flew out to right, grounded out to the first baseman in the 4th. Remember, he was first and second.
The pitch. A strike thrown by Brochu. Jack Pantalina at second base. Benji Kaiserman yet to get a hit today. Can he get one off Brochu? Hacks at it.
Tough play here, Julian.
It's a slow roller. A throw to first. Not in time. Pantalina still running. Scores a run. It's 7-1 McGill.
Heads up play by Pantalina.
Pantalina was at second. The play to first was not in time. Benji Kaiserman gets his first hit. And just as everyone was marveling at the call from the first base umpire, Jack Pantalina took the opportunity to stroll in home. 6 runs in this bottom 5th.
Just goes to show you always have to be on your toes no matter what happens. Can't let the umpire dictate what happens out there.
Nick Linton, he got things going with the go-ahead run in this inning, and now he gets his opportunity at bat.
Yeah, he came in to pinch run for Guggenheimer.
Exactly, yes.
So
we've returned to the top of the order in this inning. And it's been a nightmare time for Concordia, especially Sammy Brochu. And a strike thrown by the pitcher. 7-1 is the score, 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th inning. McGill well in the driver's seat for this contest. Another pickoff attempt, safe.
So we got 1 ball and 1 strike here for Linton.
Linton hits this one into center field. Will it drop? It doesn't. Another great catch by Lalonde. But look at the score here. 7-1 McGill. 6 runs brought into the bottom of the 5th.
It was almost, I don't want to say it was a matter of time, but McGill was kind of sniffing around in the 2nd and 3rd and the 4th, and finally broke it open here.
Team that can score in bunches. We'll be right back after this break. 7-1 McGill as we enter the top of the 6th. We've reached the top of the 6th inning between the Concordia Stingers and the McGill Redmen. 7-1 is the score between these two sides. A 6-run 5th inning has made the score what it is right now. McGill firmly in the driver's seat. Julian McKenzie, Mike Augustine here on the Bell TV1 webcast, broadcasting live from Fredericton, New Brunswick for the CCBA National Championships. A 5th inning like that where you allow 6 runs, if you're Concordia right now, how do you think they're feeling?
Morale is definitely low. They kicked the ball around a bit. You're gonna have to start here. You're gonna have to get at least a couple runs here in the 6th just to make things look a little bit better. But 7-1 right now. Anything can happen, of course. But for Concordia, you got to string some hits together. That's for sure.
Thomas Minkowski, 5 strikeouts to his tally. He spent most of the game pitching with a 1-0 lead, and then in the 5th inning, throws a ball that just misses the glove of Camden Lawhead, a wild pitch, and that ties the game, bringing in a run. But then McGill responds after that with 6 runs, including 2 errors from Concordia. Disaster inning for the Maroon and Gold as Minkowski walks the first batter he sees in this inning, Frederic Lalonde, who's made some plays in center field for the Stingers.
For Minkowski, you're up 7-1. You don't have to nitpick anymore. You can start throwing strikes. He walks the lawn in 4 pitches. So here we go. See what kind of inning this is going to be in the top.
Chandler Philippos up at the dish. Minkowski's had to pitch with that 1-0 lead. Let's see how he fares with a bit more of a cushion, a 6-run cushion.
Philippos 0 for 1 with a walk.
The pitch from Minkowski. Thought that would have been a strike, but
That's 6 straight balls, I believe.
another ball thrown by Minkowski. Camden Lawhead's going to meet with the pitcher. 2-0 count.
The pressure's still on, but it's definitely lowered, and Minkowski comes in here and loses his command a bit here. He should be more relaxed with this big lead.
On 2 occasions, the pitcher from Toronto has found himself in situations where the bases are loaded. Some nervous times, but it seems he's also dialed in, and he's thrown those strikeouts. He started the game with back-to-back strikeouts before loading the bases, but he escaped the inning.
7 straight balls now, Julian.
Minkowski still pitching to Philippos. 3-0 count. And he throws a strike.
That should bring him back into a rhythm now, getting that first strike.
Minkowski looks left to first base. Throws one into the box and a walk given out to Philippos. And now the Stingers have men at first and second as Giuliano Leggio steps up to the plate.
Comes coach.
Jason Starr coming in to take the ball away from Thomas Minkowski. And it looks like McGill will finally make a pitching change of their own. Looks like Sam Green was warming up a little while ago. Will step onto the mound. Thomas Minkowski getting some dap, getting some handshakes from his teammates in the dugout.
Yeah, he threw well. He, of course, got into trouble with his wildness. But, hey, he only allowed 1 run, so to me that's not a bad pitching performance by him.
Not to mention his team offensively coming through for him, getting the 6 runs in the 5th to give him that cushion. Sam Green stepping in for McGill in relief of the Toronto pitcher. Still 7-1 for McGill.
51, Sam Green.
In the first game of the CCBA National Tournament here from Fredericton, New Brunswick. The wind has died down a little bit here in the ballpark. It was a little bit more blistery.
I'm going to say probably by the night game the wind's going to die down. Usually does this part of the Atlantic area, we'll say. So we'll have some wind for the second game. But UNB game, Dalhousie, I think the wind's going to die down. It'll probably be a little bit more calmer. We'll see.
Sam Green has stepped into relief on numerous occasions for McGill this year. The second-year pitcher from Philadelphia.
Philadelphia, PA. Yes, sir.
As mentioned before, a heavy American contingent on this McGill side. Sam Green, definitely one of those American players.
Wouldn't mind a Philly cheesesteak right about now, my friend.
Let's go, baby.
To your point, yes. Absolutely. You're absolutely right, actually. Like I was trying to think of, get back into the frame of mind here, and now I'm just thinking about food.
Yeah.
At least wait till the 7th inning.
I know, I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Don't turn into Kevin and start thinking about food.
Good eye.
Well, Kev can do anything he wants. He's a stat guy. If he wants a hot dog and a hamburger and a bag of chips,
You'd think he'd share.
no deal.
Sam Green
Let's go. Let's go get him.
has a man at first and second behind him.
Green's got an interesting delivery, almost over the top. Kind of hides the ball a bit there. So I like seeing these new pitchers I haven't seen before. They're different deliveries. It's kind of fun to see.
Come on, Ledge, you're a pitcher. Come on, baby.
6'3", 180 pounds. He's trying to use his frame to hide that ball well. Throws another pitch to Leggio.
Tall glass of water, that's for sure.
I'm going to have a lexicon of great sayings by Mike Augustine.
Roger was calling it Augieisms 2 years ago. Guess that's what they are.
I think we can go with Augieisms. Augieisms may be that thing for you. You know, I'll drop that every now and then. 3-1 count for Green.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Caught a piece of that. That's going towards the wall, and it is out of here!
What did I say? Gotta get some runs.
A 3-run shot from Giuliano Leggio, and there's some life from the maroon and gold. Our first home run of the tournament.
I told you that the wind's blowing out. The ball's gonna carry here. Oh, the boys are pumped now. Morale's back up, Julian.
Can evidently see that, and just before this inning started, you noticed Schwartz brought the players together and was talking to them, perhaps just giving them some words of encouragement and among other things for sure. And now that Thomas Minkowski is no longer in the game, Sam Green pitching in relief and driving the 3 runs.
You got to stay positive, especially in a big tournament like this. You just don't know what's going to happen. Yes, they were down 7-1. They still got 6 more outs to play with, so positive energy goes a long way in a big tournament like this.
For the first time this season between these two teams, the Concordia Stingers have scored more than 2 runs against McGill.
Like I said, it's a different animal when we get to a big tournament. Things can happen.
As mentioned before, in the 4 meetings between these two clubs, 5 total runs scored by Concordia in their meetings against McGill. And that 3-run blast, that's almost 5. Quick math.
Hey, right back here, none outs. It's almost like another leadoff here.
Michael Macarios taking pitches from Green. Another one high up, a 3-1 count. Philadelphia native still trying to ease his way into this game.
Macarios started off that 5th inning with that single. He scored a run too, so he's 1 for 2.
The pitch from Green into the dirt and a walk. Still no outs. Kyle Hazel up on the mound. Up in the box, and Jason Starr going to the mound, and
might be it.
It might be it indeed for Sam Green. He gives up the 3-run blast and a walk to Michael Macarios. There is another pitcher in the McGill bullpen.
I don't think you want to mess around here. I think you might keep him in, but something like this, you don't want Green to pitch himself into trouble. He's going to keep him in. He's got some trust in Green, I'm sure.
Kyle Hazel in the batter's box with a man at first. McGill, they had the 7-1 lead to start this inning, and then a 3-run blast from Giuliano Leggio changes everything. We return to the tenser moments that we had in the first few innings of this contest. A pop fly.
Wind swirling, Julian.
It brought that back in, and Jonathan DeForest ran that down. I thought that ball was going to go a little farther. The wind, as you mentioned, swirling it, bringing it in. Jonathan DeForest realized it, adjusted, ran it down, and makes the catch in the outfield.
Second baseman Kaiserman must have lost it right away because he wasn't even close to the ball. Good thing DeForest was on his toes.
Bruce Tejada stepping up into the batter's box. That's the first out of this inning for Green.
Tejada 0 for 3, reached on an error in the 5th. Stole a base as well.
Macario still at first. And that ball beans. Tejada, he gets on base, a hit by pitch. It's been a roller coaster for Sam Green so far. Camden Lawhead trying to encourage him.
Question is he going to stick with him? I don't think so. Yeah, the boys are ready.
So take a look at this. The tying run is at the plate right now in Stephon Brady.
This is the guy who won up there. He's 1 for 3 with a single, hitting third for Concordia.
Macarios at second. Tejada at first at the hit by pitch. A low dribbler. Macarios will run to third. Lawhead thought about it, but he won't go to third. And at the same time, Tejada takes a trot to second. So both runners advance.
It's just amazing how this game has ups and downs, peaks and valleys. It's we thought it was close to being over after that 5th inning, and here we are. We're back in it. Concordia's got a chance here.
Green the pitch. Macarios thought about going home. And a strike thrown by Green. Still 1 out. The pitching count 1-1. Stephon Brady in the box. The pitch from Green. Way outside. Curious to see whether Jason Starr will make another pitching change. He did have the other pitcher in the bullpen. They've since stopped their session.
Yeah, he's ready out there. McGill's pulled that's a base.
That ball going over the second. It bypasses Kaiserman. A run will score. It's now 7-5.
You gotta hit
Another
that.
loose one. Runner still at second and third. Concordia will only get the 1 run off that instance. Starr starting to walk over to the mound, and it looks as if we will finally get that pitching change.
Just going over that play again, Julian. You got to hit the cutoff there for your Andre Lagarde. He overthrew the cutoff, missed the catcher, and Brady's at second because of the overthrow. So little things like that, Julian, might cost McGill, but 7-5 here. Don't know if Green's going to last.
Green won't last. He stepped off already. Rocky Roach is stepping in relief for Green. That's the second reliever used by McGill in this inning.
Number 6, Rocky Roach.
Now that being said, Julian, did you think Coach Starr really wanted to bring in Roach for this game? He probably wanted to save him for the next game, but since this wildness of this game, he's got to bring in Roach.
My thoughts exactly. As Rocky Roach, he's been used as a starter primarily. Gets an opportunity here to try to clean up the mess that's been set here. 4 runs have been brought in by Concordia, including a 3-run home run from Giuliano Leggio. It's a 7-5 contest here at Royals Field. If we have a great game 1, it was close to start the game, and then it was a tie game. Then McGill gets the runs in, 6 runs, and then all of a sudden 4 runs from Concordia have made this a 7-5 game, a close encounter.
So they call baseball a funny game. You just don't know what's going to happen. It's this has been a dandy. This has been fun.
It's been absolutely fun. And not just off of the pleasantries that have been going on in the broadcast booth.
Pleasantries. I like that one. That was good.
Pleasantries, yeah. You have to mix up some of the lexicon when you can. But Shane Mullen stepping up into the batter's box, the DH.
Hitter number 49, Shane Mullen.
Okay, Mullen, he's 1 for 2. Single and a stolen base. He struck out in the 5th.
Pitch from Roach, the right-hander, throws a strike.
That's got some bite to it. It's got the sharpness of a slider, but the up and down 12-6 of a curve. So we'll have to talk to the Rock later on and see what what he's throwing there.
The Rock. Throwing a ball. The count is 1-1. Low one into the dirt. As Mullen with an opportunity to cash in some more runs off the 1 out. A dart thrown by Roach, but not called a strike.
It's a nice pitch. A little high, I guess, from the umpire, Richard.
3-1 count. The tying run is at second. Another high one up and a walk thrown by Roach. The first hitter he throws to. And the bases are loaded. 1 out. And it's David Fontaine stepping up to the plate.
Fontaine 0 for 2. He walked in the first inning. Big at bat for Fontaine.
The pitch from Roach falls right behind. It looked as if Fontaine may have gotten a piece of it. Howie Schwartz runs out to field the ball.
Schwartz is he's been getting all pass balls, but he's been getting pass balls for both teams.
It's one thing to be out there and active, but you figure you have someone for these things. It's one thing to.
He's just keeping warm, probably.
It's one thing if the ball ends up in your vicinity and you field it, but I don't know if you need manager Howie Schwartz running out behind home plate.
We just had little words between umpire Richard and the McGill bench. They've been yakking about the balls and strikes here, so see what happens there later on in the game.
Another foul. And just like we saw in the first few innings to now, it's going to get a little more tense.
Oh, for sure. This is pins and needles time, white knuckle time, if you want to call it that.
Absolutely. If you're either McGill or Concordia, you really start to zone in on the strike zone, among other things. As Rocky Roach delivers another pitch, Camden Lawhead.
Nice play by Lawhead there.
Holds it in the sand. Still 7-5 in the top of the 6th inning. 4 runs have been brought in by Concordia. David Fontaine, bases loaded for him, connects on a pitch.
Oh.
Ball bounces off Kaiserman. Concordia will get a run. An RBI single. Oh goodness, a run from home to home.
Got him.
Did Lawhead get him? He did.
Wow.
A second out for McGill, but Concordia still gets a run anyway. It's now 7-6.
Wow. Base running error there by Brady. While he didn't really see his third base coach hold him up, that was one problem. Then he got caught up in between third and home and hesitation, and that was a big miscue by Brady.
Frederick Lalonde up at bat for Concordia. Yes, you're absolutely right. There was some hesitancy, I think, on the part of both teams, as one run did come in, and then a second base runner tried to come in for home, but Camden Lawhead got the out well in time. 7-6 is the score here as Rocky Roach throws a strike. McGill in danger of losing this lead.
That could have went a couple different ways. Kaiserman could have got a double play there if he caught it. Nicked off his shoe. Boys, if you're Kaiserman right now, you're beside yourself.
He tried to glove it, it bounces off of him, it goes into the outfield, and that's an easy score for Concordia, but they were greedy and they tried to get a second run in, but Camden Lawhead was able to field off the throw to home. And the pitch from Roach.
Nice
Swing
pitch.
and a miss. That's a strikeout from Roach, and that is going to do it for a wild top half of the 6th inning. Concordia found themselves down 7-1. They respond with 5 runs to keep themselves alive in this game here at Royals Field.
Tell you what, Julian, my scorebook is just littered with a bunch of different things. I got hits and errors and everything, so this has been a wild game, like you said, and hold on tight for the next couple innings.
Next couple innings and the next couple of games at this rate. We'll be right back after this. 7-6 is the score. McGill still up on Concordia.
Let's go, bro. Shoot.
What a game we have for you at Royals Field in Fredericton, New Brunswick. Julian McKenzie, Mike Augustine here on the Bell TV 1 webcast. Thank you so much for joining us. A crazy game has ensued here as Sammy Brochu still on the mound for Concordia. It goes a little something like this. McGill has the 1-0 lead for most of the game, and then in the top half of the 5th inning, Thomas Minkowski, the starter, throws a wild pitch. As Troy Shepard hits a base hit. Could get a second one as that ball goes into left field.
Making out a double here, Julian. Beautiful.
A double to start for Troy Shepard in what has been a fantastic opening game to this tournament so far. It was tied at 1 until the 5th inning. 6 runs scored by McGill. And then in the next inning, just when you think Concordia is left for dead, they get a 3-run home run. And then 2 runs after that, it's now 7-6 in favor of McGill. But already to start the bottom half of the 6th, Jonathan Dufour, who's up at bat now, and the rest of the McGill Redmen are starting to get into business as DeForest hits one. It bounces off the infielder. Both looks as if Dufour and Shepard both on base. First and third both covered up. Emerson Dome stepping up. And it looks like McGill in prime position again to add more runs.
Another error by Concordia. I know it was a tough play, but you got to give him an error there.
We go through 4 innings where it's just more or less a pitcher's duel, and just you're dealing with the 1-0 game, and we've seen a ton of runs come in the last little bit.
Keep it up, Brochu.
Look at that, 7 total runs between these two sides in the 5th inning. 5 runs already from Concordia in the top half of the 6th. McGill, no outs. Men at first and third. Emerson Dome in. Golden opportunity to extend the 7-6 lead. Concordia's gotten close, but they haven't taken the lead as of yet.
Yeah. Dome 0 for 2 with a run scored.
Dome hits this one into,
Doesn't see it. Doesn't see it.
into the
He got
outfield.
it.
It's caught. Shepard thought about going home,
Nice
but he'll
throw.
retreat
play.
back to third
Way to fucking go.
as Kyle Hazel walked back.
It seemed like he lost it in the sun, then gathered himself and found it.
Absolutely, that is the case.
Number 21, Jared Kirsch.
Jared Kirsch stepping in the box. You hear one of his teammates yelling out, "Money Kirsch."
Money Kirsch.
Can he deliver on another instance for McGill?
Yeah, he's had a good game.
And an
Double,
RBI
single.
double, yes.
There goes the runner.
DeForest running to second. Leggio didn't bother to try to get him out. It's second at third. You have base runners, and McGill still trying to add to the lead.
Heads up play by DeForest. It's almost a delayed steal there. Here's Kirsch again. See what he can do here.
The pitch from Brochu. Kirsch gets a piece of this one. It goes into right field. It is caught, but Shepard will run home. That ball isn't going to get to him, and it's 8-6 off the sac fly.
Hey, nice try, baby. Wing goes
Jared
up.
Kirsch had an RBI double earlier, and now he gets a sacrifice fly. Troy Shepard comes in, and Andre Lagarde will step into the batter's box as Jonathan DeForest remains at third.
Heads up play by DeForest. Yeah. Tagged up at second. Now he's at third with 2 outs.
2 outs. Sammy Brochu still dealing in this game. A strike thrown.
Hold on, baby. Let's go.
Lagarde didn't like that strike call.
There's that one.
The 0-1 from Brochu. Swing and a miss.
Roll over, baby.
Brochu's thrown a strikeout since he's been put into the game.
If you're Lagarde, you want to get something in play here, see what Concordia can do on their defensive side. Ooh, baby.
Low.
That was a nice
A
pitch.
nice pitch. But a ball thrown. Lagarde's still alive. 1-2. 2 outs. 8-6 for McGill. 14 runs scored combined between these two teams. Lagarde got a piece of it.
Staying alive.
Staying alive, goes behind the umpire, and there goes Howie Schwartz again. Fielding the ball behind home plate. Seriously, someone needs to be around there
Charlie Hustle.
to field these balls. We do not need the manager fielding it.
Hey, like I said, he's probably just trying to stay warm out there.
The pitch. Lagarde gets a piece of it. It goes into left field. And it's caught for the out. McGill gets a run in. It's 8-6. And we're about to enter the top of the 7th. McGill with an opportunity to put the game away. But Concordia has shown they've been able to put up some runs to keep themselves alive. A fantastic game so far here at Royals Field. To the top of the 7th we go. Julian McKenzie, Mike Augustine here on the Bell TV1 webcast for CCBA Nationals Baseball. Rocky Roach in the game for McGill. 8-6 is the score for the Redmen. It has been a fantastic game. With all of these runs coming in, McGill with a chance to put the game away and get the first win of the tournament. An easy out as Dom DeFelice has stepped into the game for Benji Kaiser, who's had a rocky road up at second base for McGill in the infield.
Yeah, it's I'm not going to say a short lease for anybody out there on defense, but if you make a couple mistakes, the coach is going to notice that, and maybe your head's not in anymore. Get somebody out there, fresh legs, fresh mind. So here comes DeFelice playing second base.
Chandler Philippos was out on that play. Giuliano Leggio in the game now at bat. He had the 3-run shot in the 5th inning. 6 runs scored in that inning for Concordia. They kept themselves alive after being down 7-1 as Roach is just dealing now in relief.
Back-to-back curveballs. He's got a nice tight curveball, Julian.
Roach the pitch.
Oh, baby.
Very close. Very close.
Usually you don't step in with your helmet, but it's like Leggio wants to get on base any way he can.
Another pitch from Roach. A strikeout thrown. And just like that, 2 outs.
That was Macarios.
Michael Macarios. The bat falls on him now. 8-6 the score in the top of the 7th.
Macarios had a pretty good game. Single, walk, 2 runs scored. So he's 1 for 2. That's pretty good. Remember I was saying the 7, 8, 9 guys want to do some damage, and Macarios done his job today.
Roach the first pitch to Macarios. Way outside, ball 1. He's retired the first 2 batters he's seen in this inning. Another pitch from Roach. It went outside. Did it hit him? Trying to see if it did. No. Umpire hasn't let Macarios advance to first yet.
Some people call the baseball a game of inches, and that was definitely an inch away from his leg.
I think if we had access to replay, we'd want to take a look at that. That ball did look as if it may have grazed Macarios, but he's still in the batter's box, and it's a 3-0 count for Roach. Could we be in for some more fun in this top half of the inning?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Roach throws the pitch, low and away, and a walk to Michael Macarios. Kyle Hazel, we return to the top of the lead-up, to the top of the lineup for Concordia.
Hazel's had a tough game at the plate, 0 for 4. But that can be all erased here with a single or a double or anything here. So
we've seen a home run already in this game. Kyle Hazel representing the tying run at home plate. The pitch from Roach. And I love that pitch from Roach.
Roach is pitching backwards. He's throwing his off-speed stuff for strikes early on in the count, so it's kind of messing up Concordia a little bit.
Another pitch from Roach. That one didn't have the bend as the last one. It's a 1-1 count. 2 outs. Michael Macarios at first base for Concordia. Kyle Hazel at the dish representing the tying run. Pitch from Roach. Hazel swinging at air and a strike.
Sure, Hazel has that curveball in the back of his mind, and Roach comes in with a high heater. So he's got Hazel thinking now.
Roach. The 1-2. Swing and a miss! And that's going to do it for the first game of the tournament. Rocky Roach saving the game for McGill, and Concordia losing 8-6 in what has been a remarkable opening game to the CCBA Nationals here in Fredericton, New Brunswick. What a game.
Hats off to Concordia. They stayed hit it after a tough 5th inning, but McGill, they showed their strength, their power, and that's it. That's game 1. Wow.
An outstanding game between these two sides, crosstown rivals, and what has proven to be their best matchup of the season. A close encounter, but McGill coming away winners in an 8-6 final here on the Bell TV 1 webcast here. Stay tuned for Game 2 of Day 1 here at the CCBA Nationals as Carleton and Acadia will meet in the second game of the afternoon. For Mike Augustine, my name is Julian McKenzie, saying so long and bye for now.